Welcome to the Chef's Kitchen Healthy Fine Dining Series. I'm your host, Nicole Gaffney, and we're here today with St. Luke's University Health Network, along with the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau. We're featuring chefs and doctors together to create healthy new menu options to be featured at their restaurants. And joining me in the kitchen today is Chef Ryan Zellner of the Slopeside Pub and Grill, along with Dr. Grace Fan. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Great having you guys in the kitchen today. What are we making?
So here we're going to do a little Sous Vide Elk Loin with some Braised Greens,
Nice.
a Steel Cut Oat Risotto, and a Celery and Parsnip puree. So got a bunch of different stuff going on.
You have some beautiful mise en place out here, so let's get started.
So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to start the risotto.
Okay.
So we need to cut up some shallots here.
Now this is not a traditional risotto.
No, this is not your traditional risotto. It normally is made with the arborio rice or the carnaroli rice, things like that.
Right.
We are going to use, a traditional breakfast item, steel cut oats or oatmeal.
So interesting.
So yeah, it's a little different. It's going to have a porridgey flavor and texture to it, but we're going to add some pickled cherries and some charred figs to it, and it's just going to be unbelievable.
Oats are very heart healthy, as we know. So Grace, what type of medicine do you practice?
I'm a radiation oncologist. So radiation oncology is the branch of cancer medicine that treats tumors with high energy or megavoltage radiation. It's specifically targeted. We primarily treat malignant tumors, but sometimes benign as well.
So we're just going to start with taking some of these shallots, put them in our pan, saute them up, and then we have our beautiful organic steel cut oats here. Nice fine.
Now what is the difference between steel cut oats and your traditional rolled oats?
So your traditional rolled oats, they take very large steel rollers, and it's literally a rolled oat.
So
and if
they're
you look
like
at them, they're always
pressed out?
flat.
Yeah.
That's that, and they cook a lot quicker. They take part of the actual oat off, the husk on the outside. So these, if you look at them very carefully, you can see they're all
totally different
pieces, and you can actually see they're cut. So they use a different kind of roller, but they're just cut through that, and that allows them to have this a lot more vitamins and minerals, so you're just leaving most of the piece intact, which is very good.
Exactly.
So we're just going to keep cooking this. You're going to slowly add some white wine, some beef stock, and then it's eventually just going to start looking like this over time. It's going to take about 30 minutes to half an hour to cook, or 30 minutes, 45 minutes to cook. And it just continues to go.
Do it the same way that you would risotto?
It's the exact same way as a normal risotto. I start off with white wine. I always do white wine as my first wash for that, and then I just slowly take it up about a quarter inch above the top of it, and you just keep letting it cook down. With the real fine shallots, they're actually going to melt, and you actually, in the cooked product, you can't even see it in there when it's done.
All right, nice.
So the next thing that we're going to start here is our braised greens. So we're going to have you over here, Doctor. We're going to take this nice sharp knife, and we're just going to take some of these beet greens here, peel them off the top. With the knife, you're just going to run your knife through them and try and get nice thin slices out of it. Nothing too crazy.
All right.
So many different healthy ingredients you have.
Yeah, that's really what we're trying to do. Is
Yeah.
It's meant to be, a steak and potato kind of dish, just without traditional steak and without your traditional potato. Just really trying to change things
And this
up.
is going to be featured as part of the St. Luke's University Health Network Healthy Fine Dining program. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
We're using a different kind of kale than normally what you see. This is a lacinato kale, also known as a Tuscan kale, and we're going to use some carrot tops. So the top of it, that way you can use the bottom for anything else.
Also never really see carrot tops utilized
Exactly,
these days.
yeah.
I just want to stop for a second and point out Dr. Grace's excellent knife skills. You really
say
know
the same
your
thing.
way
I'm
around
like,
a kitchen.
she's doing great. If you need a job, let me know. We're hiring.
I'll keep
the
that
whole
in mind.
medicine thing doesn't work.
Yes, that's right. You never know. You never
You've got
know.
something to fall back on
You
there.
never know. But
So you do like to cook a lot.
I do, and I love this. I love this recipe because it uses things like I actually really love the Tuscan kale for children because it's just a softer kale than the curly kale, and my kids, the kids are more attuned to it, so it's easier for them to eat. So I really love using the Tuscan kale.
And you have 3 young boys, right?
I have 3 boys at home. Yeah, so getting to eat greens is always important, and this whole new thing about eating the rainbow. Yeah, it's so wonderful, and having new recipes is like really exciting to learn how to learn how to cook these types of vegetables.
Totally.
With Chef
We
Ryan,
really are representing pretty much the whole rainbow.
I know,
We've
it
got
was
purple,
amazing.
Green, yellow,
Wait till you
orange.
see the finished dish.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I bet it's gonna be nice. We'll return with more from the Chef's Kitchen. We now return to the Chef's Kitchen.
Now we have the lacinato kale.
Okay.
We're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to start at the top, and we're only going to go about a little over halfway down.
Okay.
Typically, with most greens, the very tip of them are bitter.
Yes.
With this kale, typically the very ends of them are a little more bitter. So we're actually going to keep those out. And you can use those for stocks and other things, but for this dish, we're going to keep those away.
Okay.
So we'll keep these off to the side, and those look awesome.
What's your favorite vegetable to cook?
That's a tough question to answer. Do you have one?
My favorite vegetable to cook?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. I've actually never been asked that question. I've been asked, what's your favorite food to cook? What's your favorite dish? What's your specialty? I don't have a specialty. I can't answer that question.
Yeah, it's always tough, right?
I just love cooking. You know,
Yeah.
I love doing things that are fresh, that are local. We really try to work with as many local vendors as possible at the restaurant.
I can tell by the produce that's just sitting out on the table here.
And that's really what we're going for, is trying to keep things as local as possible.
Yeah.
And
Well, speaking of local, I love tomatoes. I guess that would be my answer. I love like a good, fresh, local tomato.
We get most of our tomatoes from Valley, Pennsylvania, Butter Valley Harvest, a local place. They do a really good job. He delivers them twice a week for us, and we can just have all the fresh tomatoes. And he does a lot of our lettuces and things like that as well. So, all right.
Now, do you have a favorite vegetable to cook?
Broccoli rabe.
Nice.
Those are my kids' favorite.
Really? Broccoli rabe's so bitter. That's so unusual for kids to love.
Well, so we roast them in a pan. So what we do is we just clean them, roast them in a pan with salt, olive oil, and sometimes we'll sneak a little cumin in there or something.
Nice. Yeah, a little flavor.
and then they'll eat them because it's delicious. It's like broccoli chips.
Right, it's kind of crispy.
Yeah.
Now, do you advise your patients at all on diet?
A little bit. Because we treat cancer patients,
Right.
so a lot of times their taste is changed by either the chemotherapy or the radiation treatments. We have nutritionists actually at St. Luke's.
That's great, and you work directly with them, with your patients?
Yes, so we actually screen our patients at the time of consultation to see how they're doing, and we ask them if they want to see the nutritionist, and if they do, or if they're having trouble with weight maintenance or weight loss, we'll often suggest to them that maybe they could benefit from seeing a nutritionist, and the nutritionist then sets up an appointment and sees them and goes over their diet and tries to help them.
That's really helpful.
Yeah. So
nice.
it's
So what are you seasoning with?
All right, so I just put a little bit of salt and pepper in there.
Okay.
The last ingredient that we have here is, it looks almost like a cilantro or chervil, but it's actually, those are the carrot tops that we're going to use. And
she's making quick work out of those.
I can't believe this. I mean,
I'm so impressed.
Oh, thanks.
unbelievable. So again, we're just going to add those in, and we're just going to keep cooking these down a little bit. If you want to throw that right in there,
Sure.
you're
That
more than
looks
welcome to.
amazing.
All right, I'm just going to grab a little pot here, and the next dish that we're going to start is the jalapeno apple butter.
Ooh,
So
that just sounds good.
yeah, it's one of those. We started off last year. We had a homemade apple butter on our menu for an elk burger, and then we just, how can we enhance this and improve it and make it even better? So we decided, well, why not add jalapenos? You know, jalapenos, the elk, it really adds this nice depth of flavor.
Spicy foods?
I do.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. This is not spicy at all.
Really?
There is zero heat to this. I do not like heat at all.
Okay.
And this is like the perfect dish for me. So what's strange about this recipe, I don't peel them, I don't core them, I don't take the stem out, I don't do anything. All I do is I wash them and I take the sticker off.
So it's
That's all you do.
Oh.
You take that out, and then you put them in the pot. I'm just going to do this with a couple apples and some of the jalapenos, and that's all you got to do. Add a little vinegar, start cooking it down. We could let it cook for about a half an hour.
Okay.
So this is apple cider vinegar. Obviously, you're going to use the apple cider vinegar, enhance that appley flavor. Some jalapenos.
Now, do you take the seeds and the ribs
Depends
out?
on the heat. If you want the heat, we're going to leave the heat in. We're going to leave the seeds in. We're going to add a little heat to this one, and it's just you add them in. Super simple. Throw it over a low heat. Let it cook for half an hour, 20 minutes, until really those apples start to come down and they look like applesauce almost.
Nice.
And then you're going to take it, either a stick blender, a regular blender, a food processor, whatever you want to use, puree it up so it's nice and smooth. Then you're going to do the straining like we talked about, and then you're actually going to measure how much you have. For every cup of liquid of apple measurement, you add a half a cup of sugar.
Okay.
Oh.
So a little bit of lemon juice. That acidity helps bring out the extra flavor. I don't even worry about the seeds because it's coming right out. Just throw it all in.
Okay, great.
This smells amazing.
It really
Thank you.
does. And when you guys are cooking, I'm actually going to introduce Brian Bossuyt. He's from the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau.
How are you?
Great to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. So what's new with the Pocono Mountains?
You know, we had a great summer in the Pocono Mountains, and Pocono Mountains is a great choice for healthy outdoor adventures with zip lining, like the Blue Mountain where the chef's restaurant is located. They have zip lining, mountain biking. In the winter, they have skiing and snowboarding. So we have all kinds of activities like that throughout the Pocono Mountains.
Something for everyone.
Yeah.
A lot of water parks.
We have a lot of indoor water parks. We also have a lot of river rafting adventures, tubing down the river, you know, hiking and biking in all the state parks and national parks.
Right, so tons of stuff to do in the summer and the fall, and obviously the winter. Everybody knows it's the destination for skiing and snowboarding.
Yes. And we have just a lot of great things going on, and we had a great summer, and we're looking towards a great fall. It's nice and warm out still. So
yes, it is.
The leaves will start changing soon, and people can go to our website and see all the great activities to do throughout the fall as well.
Fantastic. And I have to say, it's got to be one of the most beautiful places in the country to see the leaves change in the fall. It's just absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, and it's great. We actually have a fall foliage forecast that you can go and see when the peak times are to see all the different colors in the different regions as well.
All right, perfect. Well, you're going to come back and taste with us at
Absolutely.
the end? Okay, great. We'll see
Thanks.
you there.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll return with more from the Chef's Kitchen. We now return to the Chef's Kitchen.
Before we start the next process, I'm just going to explain what we're doing with the elk here. Elk we're doing under it's not, I mean, it's new to what most people know about, but it's actually been around since the 80s.
Wow.
It's called sous vide cooking. Sous vide means under vacuum in French. And we take some elk, which we have right here, super lean meat. It is leaner than beef, leaner than pork. It's not leaner than chicken, but it's for a red meat for what it is. You're not gonna beat it for how lean it is. I think it's 22% fat total for the whole animal.
Wow.
Compared to beef and other animals,
That
which
is
can be in the
very
30s,
lean.
even the low 40s for what it is. So we have those. We cut them down. I wrap them in plastic wrap. It's called a torchon, and then I put them in the cryovac bags just like this. And then you have these nice little.
They almost look like
elegant
little sausages.
Kind of, yes, but it's a whole loin.
Right.
So it's just a whole muscle meat, and we're gonna have those after they cook. They cook in this for about 2 hours. And when we cool them down, and they'll look like this. This is a little smaller one that we got, and again, it's not the prettiest right now.
But it will be.
But when it's done, you're going to be blown away by how this is.
So this just ensures that it's going to be the absolute perfect temperature inside,
Yep.
right?
So it is going to be perfectly medium rare. You don't got to worry about overcooking it. All you got to do is heat it up. So over here we have some celeriac and parsnips. Celeriac is that large little bulb over there in the corner. Yep, that's that beautiful guy. And you literally just we would cut that down, have it around, and then take the parsnips, peel them down, cut them up, and then you just put them in boiling salted water. So we're just going to strain it off real quick.
Have you ever used a sous vide before?
I have not. I have not.
It wouldn't surprise me if you had.
No.
It's not nearly as intimidating as people think it is.
Yeah, I think it's the French word.
Yeah, and I mean, they think they have to have a chamber vacuum or that. I mean, you can just use a Ziploc bag and just drop it in the water.
Sure.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Nice.
And that's the way I started doing it at home. I didn't even have an immersion circulator. I just used a crock pot, filled it with water, put a thermometer in it, and used it that way.
Just monitor the temperature.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's all you got to do. Again, you're not going to get the exact temperature that you want always, but
You'll get close to it, I'm
you'll
sure.
get what you want. That's a little hot, so let's get a spoon. All right, so after these are cooked and tender, we're just going to put them in here, puree them up a little bit, and that'll be part of the base for this dish.
Grace, how do you like being part of the St. Luke's University Health Network?
I feel very privileged to be part of St. Luke's. We have a lot to offer at the St. Luke's University Network. One of the things that drew me here from New York City, where I trained, was actually the people who work here. So my favorite thing about working at St. Luke's is being able to work with a very dedicated, highly trained, very professional and experienced staff. We also offer some of the best technology that's available nationwide. So at Monroe campus, where I am in Bartonsville, we actually are very privileged to have one of the newest linear accelerators. So linear accelerators are basically the machines that deliver the radiation, and this one is called a True Beam, which is basically the latest, greatest technology in terms of linear accelerators. It was actually designed from the ground up to deliver radiation faster and more accurately, kind of to keep up with the times and the evolution of radiation delivery itself.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
amazing.
So yeah, it's amazing.
All right, so here we have the celeriac and parsnip puree that we just cooked.
Very nice.
Added a little bit of heavy cream, and then there's no seasoning in this just yet.
Okay.
We're gonna add some salt, some white pepper. I add the white pepper, obviously just because it's a white dish. Keep the color consistent white. You don't want those big black chunks in it.
Right. Keep it nice and smooth.
Yes. So I've got my salt. I've got the coarse, or the fine grind white pepper. I'm just gonna mix that in, and then that should be done and ready to go.
Okay, great.
All right. Now we have the finishing up on this risotto. And again, it's starting to really thicken up.
Yeah, it is. It smells wonderful too.
Yeah, you get those real beefy and elk notes to it because we use a fortified elk stock.
So where do you get elk stock from? Do you make that in-house?
So that whatever scraps we have when we clean the actual elk loin, this guy, so there's a small amount of fat that's on the top of it. We take that off, any little trimmings from the chain that would be on it. We use that to make part of this stock. And then we just fortify it with regular beef stock.
Okay.
So first thing, we're gonna char up some figs. These are some black mission figs.
These are gorgeous.
Hands down my favorite food in the world.
Really?
So if you asked about a vegetable earlier,
Yeah.
figs aren't really a vegetable, but if they were, they'd
Tomatoes
classify.
aren't really a vegetable either, so
No,
I think figs can count.
Yeah. So, and all we're gonna do is just sear one side of these real quick in the pan.
Nice. You're kind of getting them nice and caramelized. And
Yep. If this was a dessert, I'd probably put some turbinado sugar on there, and you can brulee them, and they have that same consistency as like a creme brulee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's real nice. You can do the same thing with certain like triple cream cheeses. You can put a layer of sugar on there, and you have that.
That's brilliant.
Some people finish off their dinners with like a cheese plate. You can
Oh.
have a dessert cheese plate. We've done
I
a couple times.
love that idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Feeling that for sure.
Yeah, that's a real
Holidays
fun
coming
idea.
up. I love it.
I'm gonna try this fig. My kids love figs.
Do they?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So once they start to get a little bit of color on them, nothing too crazy.
Okay, so just a nice little toastiness.
Yep. So you have that beautiful amber brown. That's all we're looking for.
Awesome.
We'll return with more from the Chef's Kitchen. We now return to the Chef's Kitchen.
Now, you cook a lot of different like wild game in your restaurant.
Yeah, that's really what we try to do in the
Right.
fall. Really, the clientele really asks for it, and we're just trying to give them what they want. Is really what we're looking for. So this is that elk loin that was sous vide. I usually like to use the corner of the pan where it's already curved.
Okay.
So if you have a round item and you use the corner of that curved pan,
it
you're
kinda
really
hugs
able
it.
to get a better sear on it. And that's usually what I'm going
That's
for.
a great tip.
So it doesn't work if you have an electric stove, but a gas stove like this,
Right.
it's beautiful, and you're able to use it and still get that exact same heat.
Nice.
You're able to just keep turning it around however you need to. All right, so now we've got a little bit of that Maillard reaction going around on the outside. Now we're gonna start doing a little bit of basting action. So we're just gonna take some garlic, crush it with the knife, make sure it's not too sharp of a knife that we cut ourselves, right, doctor?
All right.
All right, and then some fresh thyme. So you just put those in the pan.
Okay.
Take some of this whole butter. Now again, everyone sees basting and they look at it and they go, oh my goodness, you're using so much butter. You're just using it for flavoring the outside of the meat.
Right, so
You're
that
not
butter's not
ingesting
all
it.
gonna end up on
You're
your
not
plate.
ingesting it. You know, if they go, oh, that's a half a cup of butter in one dish. You're not eating nearly that much.
Right.
So,
It's just going to kind of infuse into
yep,
the steak.
we're just gonna keep basting.
Beautiful.
When it's done basting, you're gonna take it out. You're gonna take a little pastry brush. And that apple butter that we made earlier
Yes.
is after it's pureed, you add the sugar, you add everything to it. It comes out looking like this. It looks like, like the kind of apple butter you'd buy in the store.
Right, for sure.
So nothing too crazy to it. I then paint the outside.
Oh, wow.
That is an amazing
Smells
glaze.
so good.
You just paint the outside around.
The thyme and garlic and the butter right now
It's
is
so good.
Just
dying.
cover all aspects of it. And then the little one that really seems to get people is this.
What is this? I saw this earlier. I
Yep.
didn't know what it was.
So this is a roasted mushroom powder. We take
Wow.
mushrooms, we cook them down in butter and thyme, and then we cook them in the pan for about a half an hour. And then overnight, we put them on a sheet tray in the oven with the oven off, but it's just enough with the gas pilot light to heat it and dry them out. You can use a dehydrator, but you don't even need to. It comes
Really?
out perfect just like this.
And what type of mushrooms? Any kind?
So
or?
creminis, portobellos, buttons, you name it, we
Okay.
use it. We don't have any specific recipe for this. It's just whatever we have available, what's
Nice.
seasonal, you know, and it literally just comes out like that.
Really
And then
cool.
when it's all dried out, we put it in a coffee grinder. So we basically have almost everything ready to go. We can start plating up if that's all right.
Absolutely.
We're gonna start off with that puree that we made of the celery and parsnip.
Nice. Little swoosh.
Yep. Don't have to be fancy. I usually don't like things on the rim, but for this one, I don't mind. Add a little Parmesan cheese to finish.
Gotta finish your risotto with a little
Yeah.
parm, right?
So again, this is a little different than what most people are used to for their risottos. You know, it's not that rice, you know, normal flavor that you're gonna get.
Right.
This is definitely a little different, but I absolutely love it. So
Such a nice earthy color to it, too.
all right.
beautiful greens.
So these are the greens that our doctor beautifully cut up for us.
Seriously.
I still cannot believe those knife skills. Again, if the doctor thing doesn't work out for you, let me know. I got a job for you.
Got a job in the Poconos.
And then last, we got this beautiful elk loin.
And like I love how it's all like about the earth. You got root
Yeah,
vegetables
exactly.
and the mushrooms and the
Well put.
the grains.
And of course, this is going to be on our Healthy Fine Dining menu as part of the St. Luke's University Health Network Fine Dining Program.
We have some micro celery, obviously, to go
wow.
with the celiac. This is from a local farm. It's about 6 miles from our restaurant. So we're just going to take some of the figs and some of the cherries. So the figs, the pickled cherries.
Pickled cherries, what do you do with
So
those?
we take rice wine vinegar, cinnamon, star anise, and a little clove and sugar, and we pickle them out.
All right, I can't wait to dig in. You
thank
guys
you.
all have to join me. Brian, thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
I'm going to just get right in here.
Ladies first.
Don't be shy, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, I can already tell how tender the elk is.
All right, I'm going for the
A
fig.
little bit of
This is
everything.
just amazing.
Good one. Got the cherries and greens. Wow. Wow. That elk is phenomenal.
Well done.
It's perfect. And it's so lean, but it's still so flavorful, which you don't really associate with lean meat. And the steel cut oats,
Yeah, it
Wonderful.
really gives that balance of earthiness, I think.
exactly. And
those
that
are
mushroom
delicious.
powder on the outside, that really adds incredible flavor, and the pop of the pickled cherry. Great job, Chef. You
Thank you
really
very
nailed
much.
it.
Nice job.
Thank you,
Really
everyone.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you to
for
the
having me.
Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau, to St. Luke's. Everybody, this has been a really, really great time. Thanks
Great.
again.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you
so
for having
much.
us.
Cheers.
All right.
Take care.
I mean, it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It was really great seeing this, being with our lovely doctor and our host, getting to cook and show people what we can do.
It was so much fun, and I'm so glad that I came because I got to see a professional chef make things that I would love to make at home for my children and my family.
We really enjoyed this. Not only did we get to showcase some of the great food in the Pocono Mountains, but we also get to talk about all the great things and the healthy things that you can do in the Pocono Mountains, so it's been a great experience.